All right, welcome folks. Today's kind of a mega episode. I'm going to show you GitHub CodeSpaces, walk you through how I'm using it, and then also this really cool search engine called Exa. So first, I'm working on this project to find different ways to make decisions and kind of dog fooding the product. So to figure out which products to record on, I actually use this API to spit out a random product because I have hundreds of them and it's hard to choose. So I built this, little tiny script to help me do so. And I shouldn't click on that. That's not where I want to go. I want to open my GitHub CodeSpaces. So this is really cool. It allows me to run code remotely. I'm working on my iPad right now. It's kind of crazy that I can actually do software development on iPad. CodeSpaces is pretty much free unless you do crazy things. I have not run into pricing. One thing that I'm doing is I'm going back here basically every time I make a code space, and I'm deleting the code space when I'm done. I think that's probably excessive, but for right now, that's what I'm doing. It means I have to do annoying things like redo my yarn install every single time. Okay, so how's this working? Well, it's really dumb. It's really simple right now. Basically, what I did was I kept track of a bunch of products in my Reminders app for a very long time. I exported the Reminders app into a PDF, and then I really painstakingly pulled out all these links. And basically what I've learned is don't use the Reminders app to keep track of things. I'm now using Matter, which I'll show you how that works in a second, what I'm doing next, now that I've learned my lesson. But basically, I have this huge TXT file. This is my basically database of products. What I'm doing in here is I have an API set up just using Express with Node. And I'm reading from this products.txt file. I'm converting it into a string list. I'm shuffling the list and then picking a random item from it. I'm sure there's better ways to do it. But that's the gist. So, just to show you the basics of how this works, if I run yarn start, I can kick this off. And basically then what's so cool is you can actually run this in a browser. I mean, this is so cool. I'm so impressed with this product. So if I then hit my endpoint and go product random, which I'm sure that's actually a really bad way to use an API. That's not a great API endpoint. Please don't copy me. It's bad, but it gives me this random product, which then I can drop in and then I can, record one of these videos. So here's this is kind of a cool one, AI camera. So sweet, right? That's what I started with. And then I was thinking about this product called Exa, because basically what I'm trying to do is I want to collect some links so that I have more. I've been kind of recording these just off the cuff. I've just gone to that website and been like, okay, let's look up, AI. I'll just basically, hold on, I'll show you my process. Really complicated, right? So I'm here. And then, I open this up and I look at it. Maybe I look at some comments, maybe I visit a page. And then this is basically all I do. Then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then I start looking. So I want to do better. I want to know a little bit about the company on Crunchbase. I want to read what's being said online about it. And I want to get a sense for what the product actually does. So basically, I want to level this up. So what I did was I am using this search engine called Exa to say, find information about the following product. And I just drop the product name in. And I'm going to work on this prompt, do a little prompt engineering there. But basically this spits out, as you can see, some search results, the top 10 ones that are similar to this product. So basically I'm trying to do benchmarking. I'm trying to say, okay, which ones are similar to this one? There's a lot more I could do. And that is the basic. So this is kind of what I built. What I want to spend the rest of the time on is Exa, which I think is super freaking cool. So first off, it's search for AI. So I think this is a brilliant use of AI search. Basically, though, these are the docs. So let me actually go and see if I can find. I want to go to Exa.ai. I want to show you guys what this actually looks like. So I've been using this for a while just to find interesting things. So earlier I was find blog posts about randomness as it relates to Google search, So a really complicated query that Google would not handle well. And then I would see these really, really cool blogs about data in Google. I'm actually going to bookmark a lot of these into Matter. So they also correct my prompt, so they'll kind of give me a better prompt. And so super interesting. And while I was using it, I was like, oh, they have an API. Sweet. So basically what I'm doing is they have this playground here, and I can hit their API using TypeScript, which is super freaking cool. So if I go in here, if I just search the REST API, wow, they have all these languages I didn't even know. So this is, how I would use it. I would drop this in here and bang, I'm ready to go. And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just hitting their endpoint to do a search, and there's so many things I want to do to improve it. But for now, that's what it is. So that's Exa. I encourage you to dig in more. They actually have a really generous free tier, which is awesome. And one last thing I want to talk about is how I'm using Matter. So I talked about how before I was using reminders and how horrible that was. Well, what I'm going to start using is Matter tags. So I think I've talked about Matter and how I use it for my newsletter. So this is my most recent newsletter. I just have a tag with the date. But what I'm starting to use it for is just to keep track of products. And so what you can do in Matter is, you can't hear, but somewhere, God knows where, you can export everything. And it's kind of tedious. Yeah, I can export the data to CSV, and then basically what I'll do is I'll process that CSV, grab out the products tags, and then I'll have it. It's not great, but it's better than what I have with reminders right now. So that's kind of where the process is going. I'm gonna have to build a better pipeline for that. I'm gonna tinker with the search so I can get better info and, hopefully come up with some better decision-making tools than just randomness. But for now, it's just random. And so if you have any ideas for how to improve this, especially, related to that Matter export or Exa.ai and prompt engineering, or even how to improve on this decision-making matrix, like alternatives to randomness. And then finally, API endpoints. I know this is not great API design, so if folks have better ideas, I'm literally just spitting out, HTML. It's not the best. So yeah, let me know. I'm happy to